Sir, you've clearly missed the point. I don't give a flying fuck about anything else you have to say on the matter.
Well, that's too bad.
Especially since you were complaining less than a month ago, March 21st.
About how discourse is dead.
Right now in the United States, we're having this incredibly difficult problem where we are making everything so concise that it's come down to a formulaic pattern that basically leads to selling nude.
Oh, you mean like...
Okay, I'm gonna try and sum up this film for you in the most concise way I can think of.
The way I came to this video puzzled me a little bit.
Someone had to inform me, this guy Mario Brother YouTube, that it was even there.
And yet you called a response to. I suppose if you're saying you don't give a fuck about what I have to say, I guess it would make sense to not attach it. But still, response to? Maybe inappropriate terming? I don't know. Maybe the video that I am talking about.
And then I saw this, Pawn Edge Olympics entry.
Okay, if he's gonna pawn me, I guess he's probably got his stuff researched. Because you are aware that I do have other videos on the Zeitgeist project. Other videos talking about computer communism, about other problems with the Zeitgeist movement. Or the Venus Project, whichever way it goes. They tend to get a little bit intertwined even though they're not supposed to be. I checked out your page, looked at a few of your videos, read your description a bit, tried to browse around a little bit, get a little familiar with you, get a little familiar with what you're all about. On my channel, right on the front page, I have my introductory video, explaining what type of videos I have on here, and why I made this channel. It's for shit. Stuff that I don't give a fuck about. Stuff that is... shitty. So I figure, okay, maybe a bit of incompetence there, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
But then I see this, in your tags. Something C1, SS1. What? So you didn't think to respond to the Venus Project, how is money corrupt? To, lots of vlog. To that, no, that's not that. Let's see here, computer communism and the resource management. You didn't think to respond to that. To combining them, that's a test run. Computers know best. You didn't think to respond to any of these. Those aren't relevant. All these things in relation to the Venus Project. And did you see this one? I say in that the project is voluntary.
I saying, oh my gosh.
No. You go to my Shitty Tucker channel and look for the only video there. That's shitty. For some reason, typing in the Venus one brings up this stuff. The only one there. That's really interesting. What is that one on? Oh, so it does have a Venus Project one there. Could have responded to that one, maybe.
So out of all the videos you could have responded to, you decided to respond to the one that I had just tossed away. Not even considering the implications of apparently. Not even really giving a fuck about what I was saying because I was just annoyed. So that aside, let's get to a bit more of the meat part of it.
Did I even watch Zeitgeist moving forward?
Straight through in its entirety? No, I did not. In comparison with the previous Zeitgeist movies that I'd seen, it was unimpressive and redundant. Like I said before, I was already familiar with the gene versus environment conundrum. I skimmed through it, trying to hear anything that wasn't simply about genes and environment, about human nature. Skimmed through it some more. No, pretty much all of it was that. And then there's some new parts, which are just about design. Whoa, jumping a little bit, are we? And of course, it could be a bit wrong right here, because I am going pretty much from recall. So this invalidates whatever I say to you in regard to anything in relation to Zeitgeist. Okay. So let me ask you this. Have you watched, because I know you're an atheist, have you watched all of Kent Hovind's lectures? You have. Okay, fair enough. Have you read all the books in relation to Christianity that the Christians are referring to? Have you read this? Have you watched that? Which are repeating the same arguments from before that you've already heard, that are irrelevant to you because you've already heard them. Tell me the argument, I'll tell you the fallacy. You know, how that works with the atheism stuff. No, you haven't watched all the stuff in relation to the Christians when they ask you about it? You just skim through it a bit after you hear a very similar story to what you've already heard before? Why shouldn't they just disregard what you have to say?
I recorded your points down to respond to them. I will give my responses in turn. So, 1. Human beings are directly affected by their environment. My response. And human beings affect the environment as well. Shall we start with a new version of genes versus environment, except with this time, whether humans are only affected on or have their own effect as well. 2. Social stratification resulting from the money system is nurturing a violent and greedy human race. My response: yes, the current monetary system sucks. I don't defend it. However, I do think that you're bringing this out to an extrapolation of all money leading to violence and greed, and being the direct reason for it. I don't see how this follows. Like I said, and if you'd like to blame something, blame the state, for it has a monopoly over the money supply. Where do you think the violence and greed comes from? Being exempt from the rules, which government is. 3. Human nature is not greed, but adaptation to the environment that the humans are in. I reply, this third one is a comment on human nature, taking as premise 1 and 2, implying that money, being the environment, is causing violence and greed. I don't think there is such a thing as human nature, and as well, this is a spot of subjectiveness. You don't know whether humans are or are not greedy by nature, and greed itself is a sort of ambiguous term. You, of course, have claims. That's what this statement is. Believe it all you want. 4. And finally, replacing the money system with the resource-based economy will allow for the preservation of our species and a cultural and technological rebirth. My response: well, that's sort of a big hole right there, isn't it? How will replacing the current monetary system with a resource-based economy allow for the preservation of the human race as well as a cultural and technological rebirth? It sure sounds nice, but whenever you prick the surface of this idea, the whole system is shown to be a house of cards, ready to fall apart when inspected.
I went back and forth about how to reply to your video, if you can even call it a reply. I initially thought of ponying you back. I don't know, because you were doing a punish video apparently, or something like that. You was poking shit behind my back. I don't know. And I thought, well, no, let's not go that direction. Let's have a conversation. And then I watched the video. I'm not seeing how your behavior isn't akin to a cult member closing himself off and saying, hey, watch it again until you get it, watch it again, just keep watching it until you get it. You didn't get the point? Well, you didn't listen to it? You didn't get that? Okay, you didn't listen to the point. Here, listen to the whole fucking thing over again. I'm not going to adjust any points. You have to just watch the whole thing again, watch the whole thing again. I'm going to attack your weakest points, watch the whole thing again. Are you going to start spouting out Bible verses of the Venus Project? And I know this digs at you a little bit. It's partially intentional. I know that you're an atheist, and I want to make this comparison on purpose. You're going to reject it, of course, which is fine. Probably saying that what I believe or what I think is my own faith. Whatever. Supposedly, the Venus Project is voluntary. I kind of have my doubts, though.